Krishna Nam Charit Adi Sitapya Vidya Pitopatapta Rasanasya Narochikanu Kintu Adaradanu Dinam Khalu Saeva Jushta Swadvi Kramad Bhavati Tad Gadamulahantri. So, the translation is as follows. The holy name, character, pastimes and activities of Krishna are all transcendently sweet like sugar candy. Although the tongue of one is affected by the jaundice of avidya, it cannot taste anything sweet. It is wonderful that it is simply by carefully chanting these sweet names every day, natural relish awakens within his tongue and his disease is gradually destroyed at the root. So, can you come, sorry, here, like, you are there. So the point is, I am reading from the purport, and I have been discussing this purport since 2-3 days. So I am going to begin from the third paragraph of the purport of Srila Prabhupada. So here Prabhupada says, third paragraph of text 7 Nectar instruction, purport. The Krishna conscious movement is being spread all over the world just to remedy this gross ignorance. So Prabhupada says that the aim of Krishna conscious movement is to actually remedy this gross ignorance. This gross ignorance, Prabhupada is talking about forgetfulness about Krishna. That's what he's talking now. So we have, of course, forgotten Krishna since millions of lives. It is not just one life. This is okay to keep like this? Yeah. Since millions of lives we have forgotten Krishna, and that is due to ignorance of the fact that we don't know him. That's the idea. So if we stop knowing about something, we forget it slowly, no? Is it? If we start revising our subject, we keep on forgetting. So we had not been in contact with Krishna for millions of lives. We left him, we came here, and now we have been in contact. So we have completely forgotten him, and that's, Prabhupada says, that is gross ignorance. And Krishna conscious movement is being spread all over the world just to remedy his gross ignorance. People in general are misled by blind leaders. And who is responsible for this gross ignorance? You might say Maya, illusion. That's okay. But if you really think about it, Maya is not responsible. We are responsible. Man is responsible for this gross ignorance. And we ourselves left him. We came here. And when we came here, then Maya, she actually made us forget Krishna by creating this material world, by creating various enticement and charms, and basically leaders, wrong people who mislead us. That's also work of Maya. That's how she works. So it's almost like that. Suppose you are with your parents in your home, and you say, I don't want to stay with you. Her parents will say, come on, stay with us, you'll be happy. And so that child says, no, I don't want to stay, I'm just going. And then he goes out and gets lost in the forest. And there in the forest he's lost, and then somehow in the forest there is an illusion. He sees nice females there and waterfall, and then he forgets everything, he starts enjoying with them. In forest, waterfall and females especially, that's a big thing. That Pandu, you know Pandu? He took a vow, no? That he will never indulge in sexual activities with his wife because he got a curse. So he went to forest, and with the idea that now he'll do austerities, and his wives also accompanied him, Kunti and Madri. Mm-hmm. But in forest, once Madri, she was taking bath in waterfall. It was so nice, trees and chirping, and he saw Madri, and he got seduced. Madri told him, reminded him that, see, you'll die. He said, okay, fine, we'll see afterwards death, but not now. So that forest creates an environment to get you attracted towards beautiful females and waterfalls and chirping of birds in the forest. So when we left Krishna, we came here. This is a forest. And now Maya creates many things. Apple iPhone, Samsung iPhone, cars, Facebook, WhatsApp. And she creates an environment so that we get attracted towards it. So if you ask, who is responsible for our getting lost in forest?
We ourselves.
We came here. It's our fault. Okay, fine. Illusion was working here. Illusion was there. Illusion is a secondary cause, if you would like to say. We are the primary cause. That's the idea. So we are responsible, not she. Why did you come here? Why did you come here? That's your problem. So that's now the main instrument of Maya to confuse and attract people are leaders. She will produce people, she will inspire people with wrong ideas. And then they will actually, they will make so many things, invent so many things which will attract people. So they will make beautiful women or waterfalls like that in the forest. So that's what she does, that's all. That's why Prabhupada says, people in general are misled by blind leaders. Blind leaders are, as Bhaktivedanta Thakur says, Kali Chela.
Yeah,
Kali Chela, Bhaktivedanta Thakur says. You know, understand Kali Chela?
Yeah.
They are the disciples of Maya. So she inspires, she would have inspired, probably she would have inspired Bill Gates to make Microsoft Word. So he made such a thing which is attractive. So she inspires scientists to do inventions. She inspires probably politicians with wrong ideas. Is it? So keep guns and you'll be safe. So who gave the idea? Illusion. So she creates leaders. Actually, Prabhupada says, who are blind, who are blinded by illusion. That's the idea. So they can't see truth. They speculate, they get some ideas, and then confuse people. And that is why Prahlad Maharaj says that blind are leading blind. Is it? Andher upani andhaiti mana. That's the idea. So she'll not let us see the truth. She'll not let us see the truth by confusing us and putting us many misconceptions. That's what I was telling. Prabhupada translates illusion as misconceptions and ideas, wrong ideas. And then she has an instrument, influential people. She uses them to influence people. That's how she's working. That's why Prabhupada said, preach to leaders. Prabhupada said, change leaders. If they can change, entire society can change. And one of the conversations Prabhupada said, that was quite revolutionary. He said to his devotees, when election comes, there's now elections. So I saw that yesterday they put on your door.
Yeah, they put
Who was that? Rosen? Dartmouth Rosen. Yeah. Who is that? Vote for them.
Vote.
So Prabhupada said, when election comes, you should also make a banner, put it in everybody's house, and write there, don't vote for politicians who are doing illicit sex, gambling, drinking, and meat eating. Prabhupada said that, in fact, in Delhi.
Then nobody will vote Prabhu.
So Prabhupada said to his disciples, and they were confused. How should I? Prabhupada said, no, you should do it. Prabhupada said, don't say the name. But they are doing propaganda, you do propaganda. That these leaders who are involved in these four things, how can they lead you? How can they lead you? They are drinking, they are doing gambling, they'll cheat you, and then they are doing meat eating, illicit sex. Their mind is not working in a sane way. They are mad. How can they lead you? So Prabhupada wanted that, in fact, but they didn't do. Of course, it was quite risky. But the point is, Prabhupada was revolutionary. And this kind of statement, people in general are misled by blind leaders. That's the first time any spiritual saint is speaking in entire history. No spiritual saint said like that, no. They met leaders and they had nice chit-chat with them, praised them for their own benefit or institutional, perks or whatever. So but Prabhupada said this. And in fact, In India, when Gopal Krishna Maharaj and Loknath Maharaj in Juhu, they used to bring many leaders to meet with Prabhupada. And Prabhupada used to, any leader used to come, Prabhupada didn't used to say, okay, you are nice and help our institution. He used to say that, but first he used to say, see, you are all nonsense. You are misleading people. You yourself do not know what is benefit for yourself, how will you benefit others? And you are rascal and that. And Gopal Krishna and Loknath Maharaj, they were like looking down. Why did we bring them? So that's Prabhupada. Prabhupada is saying people in general are misled by blind leaders. Blind leaders are Kali Chela. The leaders of human society, politicians. Now basically Prabhupada is mentioning three people whom Maya illusion uses to mislead people. Politicians, philosophers and scientists. And you can see the history. Countries together, states together, they are destroyed by politicians. They are foolish decisions. No? Entire state is finished. No? Hitler, he took a foolish decision and what happened? Finished. Atomic bomb. Japan, it got really messed up. No? And then philosophers, what about philosophers? You see all Greek philosophers, Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, Theodosius, they had their own philosophy and ideas, and what happened with their philosophy and idea? You see today what's happening. What's happening? Materialism is at peak. Nobody has any morals, no, and no God consciousness. Atheism is rampant. They had these ideas. That's philosophers, and then scientists. To put scientists here, it's a big thing because people are saying they're blind leaders. But on the contrary, people will think science is giving us light. It's showing us the way. But Prabhupada says blind. And this is a quite good insight, a very good insight into Prabhupada can see what's happening. It's impossible to understand that scientists are actually blind. But they'll claim, science is the only way to know truth. No, Prabhupada says no. Their intelligence is stolen by illusion, Prabhupada says, Maya Pratagyana. Because they are speculating. See, the problem with science is they can give evidence. So you might say there's evidence, so this is a truth. Is it? But the problem is that the evidence which they are giving to prove the truth, that might be a partial evidence, not full evidence. A partial understanding of the truth in that circumstance. But then times change, people change, things change, and you find many other things, many other causes for that. Then theories change. And theories change, no? As knowledge increases, theories are bound to change. Facts, it is said in science. Actually, one scientist said, the fact we do not know many things, the fact we do not understand many things, that is the glory of science. He said that. Because then we have so many things to know. That was his logic, but that's blind leader, Prabhupada said to scientists, okay, Prabhupada said, do you know what is life? So one scientist said in LA, we don't understand life. When you make life in a lab, you say we cannot make. So Prabhupada says, we are telling you life. What is life? Life is spirit, soul. So what's the problem? Why don't you accept? So then he was thinking what to do. Prabhupada said, if you don't know, then admit you don't know. And tell people you don't know. Why are you saying that you know? That's cheating. Prabhupada said, you are cheating people. That's why Prabhupada is saying they are blind leaders. They are cheating because we can make computers, because we can make machines. So we also know what is life and we can make life. But that is faith. That is not science. You can call it as a hope, but hope is faith. They are having faith we can do it. That's not science. No. So Prabhupada says, politicians, philosophers, scientists, they are mostly giving post-dated checks. That's what they do, no? We'll do this for you, we'll do this. Philosophers, okay, we can understand. The scientists, we'll do this. They are blind because they are not Krishna consciousness. Now the point is, I was telling you yesterday, what is the foundation of knowledge? And the foundation of knowledge, if you say the foundation of my belief, knowledge means belief, true belief. The foundation of my belief is this cause. Okay? So what is the foundation of this cause? And then what is the foundation of that cause? Like for example, if I say, so if I say if suppose it's raining outside, so I say, how do you know it's raining? So you say, okay, I can hear a voice and I can see it's raining. So it's raining, but why do you believe it's raining? Because you can see and hear. But then I can ask you a question, why do you believe what you're saying and what you're hearing? How do you know what you're hearing? That's the voice of rain. It might be a simulation. No? How do you know that? So then you have to go further back. I know it's not simulation because yesterday it was raining, I went out and I became wet. You understand? So one belief is based on another belief. You believe your senses will give true data. And then this belief is based on another belief. That data is you experienced by yourself. That belief, another belief. So where do you stop? You have to, it will keep on going. There's no end to this. And Prabhupada says, there's one, but there's an end. If you want to, you can end at Krishna, God. Because His belief is true beliefs. Otherwise your beliefs are all partial. So Prabhupada says, they are blind because they are not. This statement looks very sectarian, no? They are blind because they are not Krishna conscious. Come on, what is this? Looks very sectarian. But if you think about it, it's not sectarian. It's not sectarian because being Krishna conscious means to accept what Krishna says. And to accept what Krishna says means to accept the knowledge of God and His experience. And knowledge of God and experience by default, we understand that's perfect because He has experience of past, present, future. Right. And where His knowledge is recorded? Scriptures. Vedas. Vedas means knowledge. So if you take Vedas, you will not err. You will not err. That's the true belief. God's belief is true belief because His experience is infinite. He knows everything. And from that you begin, and then your knowledge will be correct. That is why Prabhupada says, those who are not Krishna consciousness, they are blind. They are blind. They are not connected with the perfect source. So their knowledge is not perfect. That's all. So that's what Prabhupada says. According to Bhagavad Gita, because the benefit of factual knowledge due to the atheistic way of life, they are actually sinful rascals. What Prabhupada says. Prabhupada uses this kind of words. They are sinful rascals and are the lowest among men. See? So these scientists, philosophers and politicians, they are sinful rascals. They are sinful because any idea constructed by man, it will lead to sins. Yes. It will not lead to divinity, light, purity, eternity. It will lead to death, darkness, destruction and sin. Why? Because our experience is very limited. And by limited experience, if we make something, within time, it is going to get destroyed, no? Your experience is just for this time. What about future? Maybe your experience doesn't hold for future, no? Is it? So like Mahatma Gandhi, okay, he thought, fine, we will make India free and we'll be happy. Okay, fine. That time Britishers were there and India got free. And for some time they were happy. So their experience was limited with that time and people got happy. But as time proceeded, that experience was no longer valid in future. And validity got lost. You understand? Mm-hmm. So then fell. But Krishna's experience is infinite. Krishna's experience, its validity doesn't get destroyed. It's valid every time. That is why our religion is called Sanatan Dharma.
Yes.
Sanatan means which is valid in past, present and future. That cannot be changed. It's impossible. So when Krishna says, okay,
Timeless belief.
Yes, yeah. So when Krishna says, for example, in scriptures when it is said, get up in the morning. Today, future, past. It will hold on always. Always it will hold on. No matter how much pollution you have, no matter how much technology, it's not going to change. That's right, So like that. So that is the problem. That is why Prabhupada says they are sinful. Because when your experience is not valid in future time, then, but you are trying to apply that experience, they are trying to apply that idea which is not valid, people get frustrated, people get mad, and they start doing bizarre things. So Mahatma Gandhi, okay, he got freedom, and people were happy, but then slowly time changed, and then you get leaders which are completely nonsense, people get frustrated, and now what's happening? People are doing sins. When they get frustrated, you do sins, no?
Right.
You go mad, then you kill others, you destroy others, you speak wrong things, you exploit people, no? That's why they're sinful. Their ideas are sinful. And they are rascals. Rascal, what's the meaning of rascal? Rascal means, what's that in English? What?
Dishonest.
Yeah, probably dishonest.
Dishonest person.
Yeah, probably dishonest, yeah. So they are probably more than dishonest. Rascal is a bad word. I think I have to see a dictionary. But I think in Hindi, actually rascal means who doesn't have a father and mother. Who doesn't know who his father mother are. Actually, a rascal according to dictionary means he is an illegal child. That's a rascal. He doesn't know actually who is his father mother. That's what. So that's what.
Mischievous or a cheeky person.
Okay, so okay, fine. So dictionary says rascal means mischievous
or cheeky person.
Or cheeky person. What's cheeky?
Especially a child or man, typically used in an affectionate way.
Okay, fine. Anyway, that's connotation is there. So it's a mischievous person, but actually previously it was used in the sense of illegal progeny.
Also it says an unprincipled or dishonest man.
So dishonest, unprincipled. Things are changed now. Connotations of the word are changed. So now it says, if you say somebody rascal, he like, okay. Your girlfriend says you are rascal, oh nice. So, things are changed. But initially rascal meant an illegal progeny who doesn't know his father or mother. So that's why Prabhupada says they are rascals. They are dishonest first. Definitely they are dishonest. Dishonest. They say we'll make you happy by our own ideas. But they want to exploit in that name, no? So they're dishonest. And that idea, that meaning is right. And even if you take their unprincipled, and even if you take they don't know their father, mother, yes, they don't know God, which is everybody's father, Almighty Father, no? So they are sinful rascals and are the lowest among men. Lowest among men means Naradham. Now Prabhupada is quoting here this verse. Namam dushkrito muhda prapadinte naradhama maya pratyajnana asuram bhavam ashrita. Those miscreants who are grossly foolish, lowest among mankind, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, who partake the atheistic nature of demons, do not surrender unto me. 4 type of people do not surrender unto me. Such people never surrender to Krishna, and they oppose the endeavor of those who wish to take Krishna's shelter. So 4 type of people will never take surrender to Krishna. One is grossly foolish, Muda. And Muda means, I told you, who is on bodily concept of life. Anybody who thinks he is his body, anybody who doesn't have realization, he is different from body, he is foolish. He might be PhD, super PhD, whatever. He is foolish. That's why Prabhupada said, modern education is producing Mudas. Because modern education is convincing you that you are this body. That's a propaganda. Spirit soul? No. That's a myth. If you say history, they will put it as a mythology, not as a fact. So that's why they are all Mudas. Lowest among mankind means Naradhama. Lowest among mankind is one whose agenda is to destroy people. That's the lowest person, no? You want to destroy people, you want to destroy creation. That's what.
They do in ignorance. Some of them.
Many of them, but they might be doing in ignorance, but they're doing willfully. That's the problem. Why they're doing? You might be in ignorance, but to have an agenda to destroy anybody, that's actually, you should be very bad to think like that. Even in ignorance, no? An ignorant person doesn't think, I'll destroy everybody, kill everybody. An ignorant person will most likely think, let's sit one place and be happy in ourselves. That's what he's going to think. So to think like that, it's not based on knowledge, it's based on your nature, how your nature is. And it is said, an ignorant demon is better than a demon who has knowledge. And that is the fourth atheist, Asur. Asur is a person who is bad, evil nature, and he has a lot of knowledge. That is what Prabhupada sometimes says, scientists and philosophers, they are demons, no? Because if you give a bad person some knowledge, he will be a very dangerous person, no? He can do anything. So this category is an increasingly demoniac nature. Muda means he is bodily concept of life, but he is ignorant, no knowledge. No knowledge of anything. Neither Vedic knowledge, neither Hadic knowledge. Like general 99% population is Muda. Eat, sleep, sex, see some TV. Okay, good. Do some knowledge, you might say, I'm a computer engineer, but what are you a computer engineer? You are Shudras, You're told something, you do something and finish. No brain, nothing. So you are completely, mostly people are Muda. So that's, but then the next Krishna says Naradhama. So Naradhama is when you take little knowledge, but still you do wrong thing. So it's little higher level of bad person. You're increasing grade of evil. So Naradhama, you have little knowledge, okay, fine, at this, okay, what I'm doing is wrong.
But still you do it.
But still I'm doing, okay, let us see, forget it. Nonsense, you go lecture, you hear, soul, and you're wasting time, and that time you say, okay, nice, I understand. Who cares for that? That is lowest among mankind. And then next you go Maya Pratagyana, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion. So when you take more knowledge, you become so you do research, like scientists and philosophers like types. So you take more knowledge and you use that knowledge to actually produce wrong things which will harm people. That is, philosophers produce ideas, scientists produce products. But those kind of ideas, those kind of products which are really going to harm people. Most of the scientists are employed in military. Now, most of the scientists are employed by these food companies. Not to research how to benefit people, but to research how to actually
control.
How to actually make some chemicals. Artificial chemicals, so that people get addicted, and make some chemicals so that they can hide their faults of the product. That's what they are employed for. Scientists.
Food labels.
That's what they are employed for. So milk company will hire scientists not to make milk pure, but to search a way so that in the lowest cost they can make a milk and sell in a higher cost, so it should look purer, but actually it is worse. That's what scientists are hired for. They have knowledge, but they're using for wrong thing, military and food products and all this. So that's a more higher grade. So you see, by knowledge they are becoming more evil, because their nature is, because they are a bodily concept of life. That's the problem.
But scientists are also researching cancer treatments and things like that.
Yeah. Many of them are researching cancer and all these things. We are not saying some are good, but as a brand, scientists they are actually. But even if they are researching on cancer, what is happening? They have a limited knowledge, they're doing some treatments. But if they're told, if these cancer specialists are told, who are making drugs, cancer drugs, most of them are first of all manipulated by pharmaceutical companies. They're making drugs which are costly and then giving to people. But they're not researching how can we find a way which we can treat a person without drugs. They'll not do that. They'll not do that. Why they're not researching? And people who they say they can treat cancer without drugs. And these scientists then they say, no, they publish articles, they are fake. And they are nonsense and this and that. But that's wrong. So point is they are opposed to all those alternatives which are saying, okay, we can treat by good diet, good lifestyle. Why don't scientists make a propaganda? Okay, these all foods are bad. Stop it. Why do you spend money on drugs? Why don't you spend money on prevention, not cure? They'll not do that. So that's the problem with them. After all, they are moodas, no? They are on bodily concept of life. Their whole idea is to actually make money for themselves. Selfishness, no? People who are bodily concept of life, they are selfish. That human nature will not go. Whether they are scientists or whatever. And then last is Asur. Like Hiranyakashipu, Hitler, and big Napoleon, they were all demons type. So they hired scientists and philosophers to make missiles and destroy. So they had all knowledge. They hired knowledge. They didn't have knowledge, but they hired them.
Gas chambers.
With the propaganda. Actually, you know what? With the propaganda to destroy. Actually, major scientific inventions happened at the time of war. You read that? Computers were invented primarily for the war.
Yes, that internet also.
So internet, yeah, that was invented. And major inventions and is big planes and hi-fi planes and missiles and this DDT and these fertilizers were actually nuclear waste, what they were planning to do in Second World War, but they started using that. So these are inventions out of war, out of violence.
Highways were built initially for the
war. So then, what's the point, you know? So that's, Prabhupada says that it's bad. Prabhupada says in one of his purport, if you live with nature, with God, what God has given, you'll be more happy. If you make some man-made things, it will actually lead to miseries. If this was necessary, God would have given us.
Yeah.
He's not fool. He's perfect.
Yeah.
If the computer was necessary, he would have given us already. So you might have found computers growing on trees. So you plug them and use them. But this is absolutely not necessary. People were living thousands and thousands of years and happily. How they were living. So this is unnecessary waste of energy, time, resources, and mental power, and produce wrong results and waste our life. That's what Prabhupada says. And Prabhupada says here, such people never surrender to Krishna. They oppose the endeavor of those who wish to take Krishna's shelter. See? Not only they confuse people, but they will oppose. Majority of scientists, they are atheist. And they'll oppose. If we say, okay, if you take Krishna's knowledge, you can advance more, you will become more happy, peaceful. No. They oppose. They're demoniac, no? They're not open. They have a bias. When you say life comes from God, they'll say no. Life comes from matter. How do you know? Have you done in laboratory? Have you shown? No. So why do you believe this? We believe this. We will not accept God, first of all. One documentary I was seeing on consciousness, and the scientist was Susan Greenfield. She's a famous scientist in consciousness. The first statement is, she comes and she says, so what is consciousness? It is a mystery. When you get up in the morning from sleep, you know that I am. You can know yourself, which you have forgotten in sleep. And how you start knowing yourself first and then the world, that's a mystery. No? So then next statement she makes, so from where that self is coming? As a scientist, I cannot believe it is coming from God. As a scientist, I cannot believe it is it is a separate force. As a scientist, I should believe it is a product of brain and matter. But the question is not that it is a product of brain. The question is how brain is producing consciousness. And now you go in a wrong direction because of your belief.
Krishna is
it's your belief. So then they will oppose those. When such atheists become leaders of society, the entire atmosphere is surcharged with science. So preaching, that's preaching. You see, preaching means to actually challenge atheists. So what now we are doing in ISKCON, we are not preaching actually. We are actually not preaching. We are doing some like in Karthik, you will do some programs in houses of people whose houses who are already coming to you. You are not preaching to atheists, but that is okay. That's not bad. But that's actually preaching. Only Prabhupada was preaching. You see, he was meeting scientists, philosophers, politicians. He was saying, "You are rascal." Direct, face on their face. Prabhupada was saying, "You're a cheater." And Prabhupada said, that is preaching. You have to challenge. Prabhupada said to his scientist disciples, you challenge scientists. And you write articles that they are wrong. And help common people to not get confused. In fact, like we devotees are completely nonsense. I'm sorry to say that, but we are cowards. Even materialistic people are much better than us who are actually opposing. Like for example, vegans. They oppose, fully, openly. That these food corporations are wrong and they're putting preservatives and this. Many people open their blogs and they write clearly. They are cheating, and so I feel that they are much more courageous than us. We are not doing that, but we should do that. Prabhupada is saying they're destroying. They're destroying. So we have to somehow tell people. We can tell in a logical way, but we can't hide this, because if what Shankaracharya said. Shankaracharya said, see, we are not interested just to fight with others. We are saints, no. We are interested to love God. But the problem is, when you tell people love God, they have wrong ideas. And they're not able to actually surrender to Him. So to help them to love God, we have to destroy their wrong ideas. And those ideas cannot be destroyed until unless they are in wrong company. And who they are associating with? These leaders of the society, scientists, philosophers, they're listening to them, no? They're staying in society, listening to them from WhatsApp, Facebook, news. So we have to go to the root. We have to change them. And then things will get automatically okay. But that needs a lot of preparation, a lot of strength, like Prabhupada. But if you try to do, Krishna will give you intelligence. There's one Christian, I forgot his name, he's a Christian and he's openly speaking against evolution. Open. He goes everywhere, he speaks American. And he says, these guys are wrong. And he shows why they are wrong. 100 defects in evolution. Tick, 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 tick. There was one Islamic doctor, Haruniya. You know this Haruniya? Haruniya? You go to his site, Haruniya. Haruniya. It is his pen name, not real name. So he made a site, he wrote books against evolution and he proved that Quran is right. And because of the effect of that, France, many people changed to Islam, took Islam. And he was put in prison by French authorities for doing this. Youth started converting. He challenged on the face. He wrote a book and he showed that they are cheating. And that's what we should be doing. Ideally, we should be preaching strongly and telling people what is wrong, what is right. Prabhupada said the society is a society of cheaters and the cheated. And Prabhupada said no. So in such a condition, people do not become very, very enthusiastic to receive this Krishna conscious movement. See, in such an atmosphere, people are not enthusiastic to receive this Krishna conscious movement, just as a diseased person suffering from jaundice does not relish the taste of sugar candy. So we have to make the atmosphere conducive. So one aspect is preaching to atheists, challenging them or challenging atheistic ideas. Another aspect is creating an atmosphere where people can nicely pursue their spiritual life, like varnashram farmhouses, which Prabhupada said 50% of my mission is left. Varnashram societies, farmhouse. So convincing people that society is bad, convincing them, come with us, stay on land, keep cows, grow your food, be happy. Why do you want to do so many things? For that, some people might have to work hard and sacrifice to help future generations. Somebody has to do. But whoever will do, he will get the credit. That's the point. So Prabhupada mentions all these things here. The point is, Prabhupada is not saying that, okay, fine, you might read this purport, okay, these are blind leaders, they are confusing people, so you might say, okay, so nice purport. But that's not the idea.
Action.
Idea is what to do now. If you read this purport, okay, so nice, yeah, this is happening, yeah, this is so bad, okay, Prabhu, so now let's take prasad. But that's not the point. Prabhupada is trying to help us give a direction. Now what do you do with this? Think about this. I am telling you this is happening. It is your duty as a disciple to think how to correct this. That's what as a disciple we should be doing these things. So it's not enough to say Jai Srila Prabhupada and Prabhupada is nice. That's not actually enough. Prabhupada is giving hints in this purport what to do. So he is giving the plan, we have to execute it, or the principles of that plan. However, one must know that for jaundice, sugar candy is not only specific medicine. Similarly, in present confused state of humanity, Krishna conscious, the chanting of holy name of Lord, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, is only the remedy for setting the word all right. Now you might say, just by chanting, how can all this become okay? No. But it will, because when people start chanting these names of God, they'll get faith in God. If they get faith in God, they'll get faith in His instructions and in His knowledge. And then they get faith in His knowledge and instructions and they'll apply it, they'll get benefits. And when they get benefits, they will lose faith in other propaganda, wrong ideas. It is benefiting me. Is it? It's by experience. Benefiting me. So I'm getting up in the morning, it's benefiting me. So why not do that? So anybody will say, there is a research, you should get up at 10 o'clock in the morning. Come on, we'll say it's crazy, We are doing and we are benefiting. So that's how chanting of this mantra is the only remedy. Although Krishna consciousness may not be very palatable for diseased person, Sri Rupa Goswami nonetheless advises that if one wants to be cured from material disease, he must take to it with great care and attention. Prabhupada is introducing these words, great care and attention. And Rupa Goswami says in Sanskrit, Adarad. With respect, you should chant. Prabhupada translates that, great care and attention. Respect means care and attention. So that we have to... So what this means? Chanting with... Taking Hare Krishna mantra with great care and attention. What that means? That means when we chant the holy names, we have to chant, we have to glorify Krishna first of all, and also with proper focus and concentration. That's one thing. Another thing is the name, we are chanting Krishna's name, so we should also try to understand what are his words, what he wants to convey to us. The person we are glorifying, we have to understand what he wants to say to us, no? Is it? That's the idea. That is great care and attention. So that we have to be attentive about. What he wants from us. How he wants us to lead our life. And if we modulate our life mold our life according to His instructions, and then chant. That chanting is called chanting with great care and attention. Taking the medicine with great care and attention. One begins this treatment by chanting Hare Krishna mantra, because by chanting the holy names of the Lord, person in material condition will be relieved from all misconceptions. See, Prabhupada is using illusion as misconceptions. Be freed from all misconceptions. That is a problem, number one problem of human society. We have misconceptions. We have assumptions. And we never question whether this is assumption or this is a true belief. We don't question that. If you ask somebody, is it a misconception or is it your misconception or is it your presumption or true belief? He'll say, it is true belief. Why? Because I believe. That's what people say, no? That is why Vyasadeva says people are foolish in this age. They're absolute fools. Dull-minded. They can't even understand what's happening. So by chanting Hare Krishna, your mind becomes sharp. And you start questioning, what is this? Why should I believe like this? Why should I believe scientists? Why should I believe the evidence? Maybe there's a problem with the evidence, no? Maybe, who knows? Why should I believe newspaper? Maybe somebody is tampering with it. Who knows? People are doing that, no? So there are big questions. All these misconceptions are lost. And the main misconception is about one's spiritual identity. Main misconception is, I am this body, which is very difficult to overcome. Provides a misconception about one's spiritual entity, provides a foundation for ahankar, or false ego within the heart. Main misconception is that we are this body, there's nothing besides the body, and that leads to another misconception that I must do everything for this body. And that is called ahankar, false ego. Any action done for this body, or let's say any action done for this body with a selfish motive, that's false ego. And any action directed towards spirit, soul, and any action done for the body for the benefit of soul, that is true ego. That is not false ego. That is not ahankar. That is nir-ahankar. So one misconception leads to another, then another, then another. You know this in maths. If you have two parallel lines, but if there is a slight angle between both, after some time they'll go totally in different direction, no? Is it? And there's a theory called as chaos. You know that? Slight change in the parameters, the beginning, in the end it will be a very big change. Or in mathematics also, you start solving problems, slight error somewhere in the beginning, and your whole solution, whole calculation is wrong, it will go somewhere else. Similarly, a slight misconception, and your whole life goes in a different direction. That's all. And that slight misconception is beginning is, I am this body. If that is done, everything is finished. Because on bodily level, person becomes selfish. No? His body is going to get destroyed. And this is the only time I have with this body. So I should do whatever I want. Don't care about others, But if you know your soul, you are not selfish. It's eternal life. Nothing will happen to me. I don't die. Nothing happens. So okay, fine. Why to be selfish? Help others. So automatically it brings selfishness. And that's what Prabhupada tells here. Can we just, we have to, till what time should we continue?
The conference is till 8:20.
Praveen, we have to ask Praveen.
Yeah, Prabhu.
At what time? Okay, so this purport continues with the 3 stages of chanting of holy name. And you can all go and read the 3 stages of chanting of holy name. But the idea of those 3 stages, I'll just finish here by giving you an idea. That the 3 stages of chanting, one is offensive stage, one is stage of lessening offenses, Prabhupada's writing, and the pure stage. That is Nama Pradh, Nama Bhas, and Shuddha Nam. So, Nam Aparadh is when we are chanting holy names with offenses. Now, what that means, there are so many offenses, but what that means is, you're chanting holy names of Krishna, but having your own ideas. That is Nam Aparadh. That's all. Okay, fine. I'll chant names of Krishna, but in my own way. I'll chant names of Krishna, but his ideas are different, my ideas are different. Then you're offensive. Because then chanting means glorification, but actually you're not glorifying, you are frustrating him. If I chant your names, okay. Prabhu, I'll chant your name. Okay, fine. But then I'll not agree to you. Whatever you say, it's your own idea, my own idea. Come on, you're like crazy. That's Nam Aparadh. That's all. So all that list of offenses are those ideas which you have, which are not God's idea. And Shuddha Nam is, pure name is, you're chanting his name and you accept his ideas. Okay, Krishna, whatever your ideas, I'll accept that. I'm chanting your names and I will do what you want. That is pure chanting of holy names. You understand? So that's pure. And whatever is in between is Namabhas. You have some your ideas, some his ideas.
The transition stage.
Yeah, and you want to do something which Krishna wants and you want to do something you want. So that's Namabhas. So we can you ask him to mute? What's happening? Can you ask him to mute?
Hare Krishna, can everybody go on mute?
Yeah. Please mute your phone. We are getting disturbed if anybody's speaker is on. So the idea is offensive chanting, pure chanting, and Namabhas. So if we want to go from offensive stage to pure name, what should we do? Now, simple. What should we do? The simple thing is, we should start accepting Krishna's instruction. We should start understanding what he wants from us.
Okay.
What are his ideas? Accept his ideas, throw your ideas. Accept his will, throw your will. And then you will be on pure holy name. Don't think that you will come on Shuddha Nam by concentrating Hare Krishna, and just make your mind pressure. It doesn't happen like that. You don't come to pure holy name by sitting in one posture and keep on chanting. It doesn't happen like that. That's the idea of Namabhas, Namapradan, and Shuddha Nam. So you can read that and Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Is there any questions, by the way? Anybody? But please, it's my request, devotees who are listening, can you please mute? Somebody's speaker is on. Can you just tell? No, they are not listening. They have just forgotten.
Hare Krishna, can everybody go on mute? You are hearing some background noise.
So any questions?
Hare Krishna. If anybody has any questions?
So, you need to ask them. Can you ask them again?
Krishna Prabhu, thank you for a beautiful class.
Krishna.
My question was around, as we go deeper into Kali Yuga, it seems that the intensity of preaching has to actually be even more to counteract.
Yeah.
And to your point is, I don't know if the rhetoric today is, I feel in some respects that it is, it's gotten softer since Prabhupada.
Of course, yeah, definitely. That's what I was pointing out. It's got softer and I would like to say it's actually stopped in one sense. Nobody's preaching in that mood, and we see Prabhupada purports. I just read. It's right there in Nectar of Instruction, in fact. And people, and the verse is not like that. If you see the verse, Bhakti Vikasa Swami doesn't mention anything like that, but Prabhupada, being realized soul, he's mentioning all these points just to make us realize that you cannot taste holy names in such an atmosphere. It's impossible in such an atmosphere. Until and unless we don't change the atmosphere, we cannot help devotees to chant the holy names with taste the name, qualities, pastimes every day, every moment. That's almost impossible. And to change the atmosphere, you have to change the leaders. blind leaders, politicians, scientists, philosophers. And the scientists and philosophers and leaders, they are not just sitting in parliament or laboratories, they are sitting in your mind. We accept them in our mind. The ideas, they're in everybody's mind. So we have to challenge those ideas which they are propagating and then preach. And absolutely you're right, it's soft, probably it's not even happening. Probably, I would like to put, people not actually, it's not soft, it's not even stopped. We are preaching in a wrong direction sometimes. Sometimes that's also happening. That, okay, everything is going nicely. Everything is not nice. Krishna consciousness is nice. Everything is going in a wrong direction. And we flow with this direction, then it will be very difficult for us to even control our mind. What to say of love, use our mind to love Him. We'll just be fighting with our mind whole life. But what about...
at the same time...
Yeah, at the same time.
I was going to say, but at the same time, Prabhu, it seems like one can, I don't know, I mean, every situation is perfect, every, society is different, every culture is different. But it seems to initially draw people, the feeling is that you take a softer approach, because if you start talking about, don't be materialistic, or,
perhaps, you're right.
It's very hard. It's a very delicate balance, actually.
You're right, it's a delicate balance, and that is why mature devotees should preach. But that doesn't mean that we have to take a soft approach. That doesn't mean like that. That means if we are forced to take a soft approach, that means we are not mature. Because Prabhupada didn't take that. And Prabhupada changed entire world. How did he do that? So that means he was mature enough. How to balance it? So rather than concluding that we have to take a soft approach because people do not come, we should conclude by our soft approach that we are not mature in knowledge. So if we are mature in knowledge, if we have proper logics, and we can explain people logically, people will accept. Why will people not accept? Just like I gave this example of so many materialistic people who are opening sites against food, against all these companies, and then logically telling, and many people support them. And most of these people are NGOs. People give them donations because people like that. People say, okay, these people are telling us truth and they are helping us. So that's the idea. That's what my conclusion is. It's not necessary to take soft approach. It is required we all become knowledgeable, become mature, we analyze things, present people in a very systematic, logical way, and people will accept. When they'll get benefited, they will hear to us, and not in an invective way and not in a condescending way. So generally what happens is people either take soft approach in ISKCON. So because of that they are unable to pass the real message and actually help them to destroy their wrong ideas. On the other hand, and on the other hand, on the extreme, people take hard approach and they start condemning others and start putting them down. Okay, this is wrong, this is right. Both are wrong. We must take a balanced approach. Balanced approach means we have to explain them logically, maybe scientifically, systematically, and help them to appreciate that the ideas are not in the right direction, and simultaneously give them thoughts which are right and which will help them, bring them peace and satisfaction, and take them to love of God. That is what should be the approach of ISKCON, of devotees. Isn't it? Is it?
Yes, absolutely. And at the bottom of it is the fact that you have, at some level, you have to have full faith in Krishna. When Prabhupada came, he had nobody, no resources.
Yeah, absolutely.
He used to stand in front of a Western crowd and follow the regulative principles. And he jokes about it. He says, I thought people are going to say, no illicit sex, no drinking, please go back.
Yeah. Absolutely. You're right.
He stood his ground. He has made his message very clear. hear.
So then,
Very shocking, yeah.
That's,
again, he's a realized soul, Prabhu.
Yeah, so you're also realized soul. Everybody is realized. Yeah, you're absolutely right. We have to have faith. That's the bottom line, yeah. Absolute faith. Then Krishna will direct us how to do this. Yeah, that's nice point. Okay, so anybody wants to ask any other question, or we just Hare Krishna? We're going to stop here. Okay. If nobody asks any questions, so I think Praveen Prabhu, can you?
Yeah, please end the call.
Yes. Okay. So thank you very much for all of you to listening this lecture and giving me opportunity to speak. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Samast Vaishnava Bhaktivedanta ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Kripa Sindhubhyo Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah.
Your conference recording has stopped.
Thank you so much.